dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Keaton Hall. More than 20 years after one of the worst tragedies in U.S. history, many still reflect on the lives that were lost on 9/11 and the way America came together in the days afterward. WYMT's Alyssa Williams was at the 9/11 Patriot Day tribute in Laurel County to hear the stories of those who lived through that day.
Countless first responders across the region gathered for the 9/11 Patriot Day tribute at the Laurel County Fairgrounds on Sunday.
But the first responders and stuff pulled out, they come together like we always do. And this is why I do it. It's the unity. We're brothers and sisters. I don't want them to forget, ever.
Through the festivities, attendees were able to hear the personal stories of those who experienced 9/11 firsthand, like that of New York native George Colella.
I felt the ground shake, and then I heard the explosion. When I looked out the window, I saw paper flakes. Looked like paper flakes, but that was the aluminum off the building.
Colella was working as an electrician on the 7th floor of the World Trade Center when it was attacked. And although he deals with PTSD to this day, he says nothing compares to how everyone came together on 9/12.
Everybody was carrying flags. Everybody got along, no matter whether you were Democrat, Republican, and whatever you were.
This is a feeling the event's coordinators, Michael and Cynthia Peters, wanted to emulate for the Patriot Day tribute.
When 9/11 happened, it was the worst day in American history. The biggest tragedy that ever happened. But 9/12 was the greatest day for America because everybody come together.
Peters says he hopes honoring those who pay the ultimate sacrifice will be his legacy.
When you bury me, you keep doing this.
I will. You know I will.
I hope, because we're going to help. We're going to help people. That's all I care about is honoring. We want to honor those that we lost and praise the ones that are still here.
In Laurel County, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Michael and Cynthia Peters also used the event as an opportunity to fundraise for the Shop with a Cop program, along with other charitable causes and organizations related to first responders. On Sunday, the nation marked the 21st anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks by honoring the nearly 3,000 lives lost on that tragic day. At the September 11th memorial in New York City, family and friends read the names of their loved ones. While at the Pentagon, President Joe Biden attended a wreath-laying ceremony where he paid tribute to those killed there. Biden also shared what he sees as the greatest lesson learned from 9/11.
Regain the light by reaching out to one another and finding something all too rare, a true sense of national unity. To me, that's the greatest lesson of September 11.
Before he traveled to D.C. Sunday, President Biden told reporters he had, quote, a plan for the families of 9/11 victims who are still seeking justice, but he didn't elaborate at the time. Several Kentuckians lost loved ones in the terror attack. We heard yesterday from a Rowan County family who remembered their American son who was killed at the Pentagon. In Lexington, the uncle of a man who was working in the World Trade Center who died at the 9/11 attacks. And 21 years later, Peter remembers his nephew Paul Sloan, reminded of him daily by the photos framed in his living room.
He was, according to all the everyday people in his life, the nicest kid they came across. So the cleaner that he would take his clothes to, the doorman, everybody wanted to talk about what a decent person he was.
Great story. Traffic is moving once again on I-75 in Lexington after a manhunt kept drivers stuck for hours. It all started around 2 this afternoon on North Broadway near the exit ramp onto the I-64 I-75 split. Several police units, including Lexington Police, KSP, and SWAT officials were on the scene, including a police helicopter flying overhead in the area. More than one armored vehicle was also seen arriving to the situation. A witness told us they saw police chasing a man with a gun.
We pulled off the exit. We had a flat tire. We're changing the tire, and we saw this man walking by us. We thought maybe he was hitchhiking or he just kind of walked by us and was walking towards the woods. And then that's what we saw, the cops with their guns drawn telling us to get down and hide behind the tire, that the guy had a gun.
According to the Herald Leader, the suspect surrendered and was taken into custody without incident. His name has not been released. Kentucky State Police arrested a man they say is a suspect in several theft cases in the Grayson area. Troopers say Eric Justice was spotted walking into a home in Grayson. During a search, troopers found Justice hiding under a bed. He's facing numerous charges, including forgery, fraudulent use of a credit card, and possession of a controlled substance. Investigators say he's the suspect in a large amount of thefts in the Grayson area, and more charges are expected. He's lodged in the Carter County Jail.
Well, soggy weather continues across the mountains into the end of this weekend, but some good news, some drier air is just around the corner. Let's go out to the London Corbin Airport tonight. All is quiet at the moment at this location. We are looking at a cloudy sky, though. Current temperature is sitting at 68 degrees. That dew point also sitting at 68, so we could see some patchy fog as we go later on into tonight. Temperatures across the mountains in the upper 60s for most of us. 66 in Pikeville, 64 in Hazard, 68 for London, and 67 for Jackson and Manchester. Up on satellite and radar, you can see those showers we had earlier today. Most of those are now off into portions of Virginia and West Virginia, but notice back towards the west, another line of showers starting to move into the region, especially for portions of Rockcastle into Wayne and Pulaski counties. That is all associated with a cold front that is over portions of central Kentucky that is currently moving off towards the east into our direction. So that forecast tonight looking pretty soggy at times. More showers are possible. Also watching out for some patchy fog. Temperatures falling into the lower 60s overnight. And we do have some drier and much better weather on the way as we get into your next work week. All that and more coming up in just a little bit. Keaton.
Thanks, Cameron. Feisty Corner Church stands right on the banks of Troublesome Creek, and it took a large hit in the flood. Over a month later, the building is still getting repaired, but that didn't stop the church from holding their first service since the destruction. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox details how members of Feisty Corner Church believe while the building may be gone, their unity is strong.
Dirt covers the landscape at Feisty Corner Church as the banks look steeper every day. But the ugly scene did not keep leadership in the congregation away.
We've had individuals come to help and to do things, and this disaster has brought people together.
For the first service since the flood, another local church donated a tent, so they pitched it right along the bank and gathered with praise.
We've had a great loss in this community right here especially, and if not for the people sticking together, we'd have nobody.
Community, along with the occasional sign from above through those relationships that prove they are not alone.
I saw this and I picked it up and I said, how much do I owe you for this? And she said, nothing, that's already been paid for a long time ago.
Sometimes a simple design put together can bring emotions beyond words.
We lost the crossing that we had in the church, but you know, the nails represent the nails that Jesus took.
And while the flood created a major setback along Highway 550 in Feisty, the opportunity for an inspirational comeback starts to bloom.
We're going to keep moving forward until we get it open.
Arthur says he hopes the church will reopen sometime in the next month. In Feisty, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Holland also said they're worried that their church buildings could fall down the bank if mudslides continue. The Kentucky women's basketball team visited Letcher and Perry counties to give away items. The team started at Letcher County Central High School, where they gave out shoes, and then stopped at Perry County Park to give away books. Freshman and Eastern Kentucky native Cassidy Rowe says giving back to the community she grew up in means everything.
I mean, it's been amazing to get to come here with my team, especially back to my roots, you know, Eastern Kentucky. This is why I wanted to come to Kentucky, to be able to give back to my community.
Rowe graduated from Shelby Valley High School in Pike County last year. Well, as Cameron's probably about to tell us in the next break, it's that time of year again. The temperatures are starting to fall a little bit, and the leaves are about to begin to change. Last year, after a promising start, the fall foliage turned away later than expected. But this year, experts are predicting a seasonal start as conditions have been favorable. The forecast looks to continue the trend, meaning that soon the leaves will start to change.
That for Kentucky, it'll be kind of patchy throughout most of the state and into some partial into peak around the 15th to the 20th of October. So we still got a little ways to go before.
Dr. Thomas said the floods shouldn't affect the foliage in those communities too much. If you're looking to see fall foliage in Kentucky, some of the best places to look, they say, are state national parks and byways if you're willing to travel out of your backyard. Coming up at 11, we've got the latest from the UK and the Queen's upcoming funeral.
And a few showers are possible overnight, but some cooler and drier air is just around the corner. I have all those details coming up.